Imagine being born into a reality where every material wish is instantly fulfilled. Everything you could possibly desire is available the moment you ask. Managing a 66,000 square foot estate requires an industrial level of maintenance. With 24 bathrooms and 6 kitchens and an extensive cadre of gardeners, butlers, and security, these residences function as sophisticated corporate ecosystems. With parents often consumed by the demands of managing global empires, the daily task of child-rearing falls to these employees. For a billionaire's daughter, the primary emotional attachments of childhood are frequently formed with hired nannies and caretakers. This creates a dynamic psychologists call affluent neglect. The child forms deep bonds with the people raising them, but those relationships are inherently transactional. The sudden dismissal of a beloved caretaker can introduce intense emotional precarity at a very young age. The absolute material freedom visible from the outside is built upon a foundation of profound structural isolation on the inside. That isolation is reinforced by a literal invisible shield. From birth, these children are accompanied by close protection security details. They are never truly alone. A simple trip to the grocery store requires advanced planning and a security shadow, all because the child is a high-value target for kidnapping or extortion. Inside that guarded bubble, the abundance of resources triggers what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. This exclusive centurion card sign represents a lifestyle of unchecked purchasing power. When you grow up with access to this level of capital, expensive possessions and elite experiences become completely ordinary. When a child grows up with 15 homes and a private island, luxury becomes the only baseline they know. This absolute provision often leads to a state of existential boredom, where the brain stops seeking long-term goals because every desire is met before it is even articulated. As the heiress reaches adolescence, education shifts from basic academics to the deliberate acquisition of cultural capital. Institutions like this Swiss boarding school, costing upward of $100,000 a year, serve a highly specific function. They act as networking nodes, allowing the daughters of different global dynasties to form lifelong cross-border alliances. For the tech dynasty heiresses of Silicon Valley, the Stanford campus acts as a modern finishing school. Here, the focus is on blending family legacy with technological innovation, surrounded by peers of identical status. Then there are the global presentation rituals, like Le Bal des Débutantes in Paris. Rooted in 18th century aristocratic customs, this invitation-only event merges high-fashion haute couture with discreet economic matchmaking. Throughout this process, these young women are taught the strict etiquette of old money discretion. Unlike new money ostentation, established wealth operates on a code of silence. Discussing the cost of items or flaunting logos is treated as a signal of financial anxiety. This educational pipeline integrates the heiress into a highly guarded global class, ensuring the family legacy is preserved through a unified network of elite alliances. As she enters public adulthood, maintaining that guarded status requires digital hardening. Her personal privacy is managed like a corporate defense protocol. Consultants are hired to scrub her digital footprint, ensuring addresses and location-revealing photos vanish from search results. Public enrollments are handled using aliases, and all sensitive communications are forced onto encrypted platforms. This extreme defensive posture extends directly into her romantic life. Wealth acts as a massive magnet for predators, making genuine connection incredibly difficult to verify. Families employ boutique matchmaking firms and private investigators to clinically vet potential partners. They run background checks on credentials and conduct behavioral pattern analysis to detect romance scams well before any emotional trust can form. Immense wealth weaponizes human connection. Finding a partner ceases to be a natural social progression and becomes a high-stakes exercise in risk management. Eventually, the heiress must confront the looming expectations of the family empire. This phase often triggers successor syndrome. When your name is on the building, it breeds a crushing imposter syndrome, the constant, nagging belief that your personal successes are nothing more than a byproduct of your surname. Some choose a path of operational immersion. Like Delphine Arnault, seen here alongside her father at LVMH, they attempt to earn legitimacy by working their way up the ranks, absorbing themselves entirely into the corporate family identity. Others take the strategic startup route. Eve Jobs leveraged her resources to build a highly visible, independent identity as a fashion model and competitive equestrian, moving away from her family's tech legacy. This is the central tension of billionaire adulthood, choosing whether to submit to dynastic duty and preserve the empire, or risk that safety to forge a truly authentic self. A select few become the dissident heiress. Abigail Disney and others openly critique the system that created their fortunes, vocalizing the structural guilt and personal corrosion caused by extreme inequality. Avoiding that corrosion requires a massive psychological effort. The heiress must build a grounded, internal sense of worth that is entirely disconnected from her family's net worth or performance metrics. That kind of psychological security is the one asset that cannot be purchased, inherited, or protected by an elite security detail. It has to be developed from within. This creates the ultimate paradox for the billionaire daughter. When inheriting everything, your lifelong battle is proving what you build belongs entirely to you.